Yes, thank you. And it is an honor and a pleasure that we are that we have a follow-up performance by one of my favorite wordsmiths, human beings on the planet, yet another person I seem to stalk. And so, truth be told, has been born. He is from Michigan. He is a spoken word artist, poet, MC, actor. Christopher Owens is his birth name, is known for many things, and biting his tongue is not one of them. Witness just a few minutes of his critically acclaimed performances, and you can go to his website or YouTube in which to do so, and you'll understand why. Truth be told, candid, no punches, call it as he sees it style is one that has resonated with audiences across color lines and age ranges, and has garnered awards and accolades from fan bases that reach from South Africa and Tokyo. He has opened up for acts such as Flowetry, Mint Condition, Music Soul Child, Bilal, Christette Michelle. I think I'm like getting goosebumps again, right? And he's written a commercial for BET's Black History Month and a pitch for companies that have appeared and succeeded on ABC Shark Tank. He's made TV appearances on VH1, MTV, and has made an appearance on an independent film, How You Look at Me. Truth Be Told was awarded Spoken Word Album of the Year at the 2012 National Poetry Awards for his project, LTV2, The Death and Rebirth of Christopher Owens, as well as Spoken Word Artist in 2013. Truth Be Told is currently touring while completing his MFA in creative writing at Wilkes University with a concentration in poetry and fiction. He runs Culture Phoenix, a community-based focused business who has already made national headlines for their work with the WNBA teams. It is an honor and a pleasure, truth be told, to give you this platform. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. And before I get started, I would like to first thank Reverend Katie and Ellie for having me here. Dr. Neil Lester, every time I hear you, I learn something. And my goodness. Okay, so before I get started, one thing I wanted to say is listening to Dr. Neil Lester made me reevaluate what I was doing and gave me confirmation for what I'm about to share with you. The theme today is hope, healing, humanity, redefining justice. I was nervous about what I was going to say, but Dr. Lester reminded me that hope is actually the work that we do towards justice is the hope. Being able to recognize and speaking truth to power is the healing, and the humanity comes afterwards from how we cooperate in that. So I want to thank you for that reminder. And for everyone listening to this, I hope you truly receive the message. With it being election day, it's kind of timely. What do you call a democracy that doesn't protect its citizens' right to vote? You call it what it is. You call it broken. Last summer, Derek Chauvin's knee was on George Floyd's neck. Breonna Taylor was murdered where she slept. We voted, and the response was an insurrection attempt, fake audits, and 400 laws written to restrict votes where only we rest. You have to see how this all connects. Worse yet, the GOP's lawyer told the Supreme Court to its face that protecting voting rights, that democracy, hurts Republicans. No, it is time to call it what it is. Democracy is a threat to white supremacy. And we can no longer afford to ignore elephants in the room or expect help from elephants who view Black and brown voices as insects to be stomped out. This is a warning. What do you call a democracy that's not a democracy for all? It is apartheid South Africa reinvented, intended on keeping political power in the whites only section. Question: when in this nation since the Civil War has minority progress ever come under bipartisanship? Answer: nowhere near as many times as the filibuster has been used to prevent it. Meanwhile, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin stand by like Minnesota cops, hands in pockets, while the racist filibuster leaves democracy wheezing, barely breathing, barely speaking. Meanwhile, our so-called representative is more focused on pharmaceutical donors and social media posts than her coworkers trying to steal her constituents' votes, which either makes her aloof, insincere, naive, stupid, or complicit. Now, which is it? This isn't the time for political theater, Miss Cinema. We've seen this movie play out during Reconstruction, come in the form of a so-called Southern Compromise, disguised as states' rights, disguised as protected racism, which birthed a nation that birthed the Klan. Ma'am, we've lived through this nightmare before and still do. As a Black man in America, I've grown accustomed to being shown how white lies, laws, and violence, and not just this year, threaten Black and brown lives. I know trouble when I see it. That's why they don't want us to go to schools to teach it. That's why they don't want us speaking or raising our voices at the polls, because elections should have consequences, right, Mitch McConnell? But racists don't believe in election integrity, accountability from those they don't view as equals. Maybe you don't see it because it hasn't affected you yet. This is your warning. It's time that we make amends with the fact that our amendments never mended America's racism and that this nation has yet to fulfill its promise to all. Martin told America nearly 60 years ago that she was then a century overdue in doing right by her citizens of color. Those same manacles and chains remain today throughout legislation. 6 decades later, we find ourselves on democracy's edge, and instead of removing racist rules used to try to subdue us, we now, not in 2017, 2018, or 2019 when it was forget your feelings, now we hear calls for bipartisanship from those more interested in power than the people. Voting is power for all people, but many people would rather see Black and brown voices reduced to the size of a peephole. Bipartisanship with racists is an abusive relationship, and I thought America didn't negotiate with terrorists. Foreign, domestic, white, or elected. Y'all, they tried to steal a daggone election. Now they want cooperation, protection, and acceptance. I say no. The only method that is effective is if voting rights are protected. This should be the last summer any eligible American has a harder time voting than owning a gun. The last summer we have representatives that don't represent the people. The last summer I have to worry about my unborn grandchildren fighting the same fights my dead great-grandparents had to. Why do we have fewer voting rights in 2021 than in 1965? If you can't read in between the lines, just listen to what my ancestors have been saying since we were stolen. You owe us. Remind me who was the first person to bleed for this nation. You owe us. Pop quiz. What's minimum wage for a slave times 24 hours a day times 365 times 244 years? Answer, you owe us. Remind me whose original land I'm standing on while I'm saying this poem, and remember who got you elected in November. You owe us all. Because a nation should never write a constitution all of its people can't cash. Again, I ask, what do you call a democracy that doesn't protect its citizens' right to vote? You call it what it is. You call it broken. And then you fix it. So let's get to work.
Oh, amen. Thank you, truth be told. Those words are meaningful. We are so grateful for your art, for your poetry, for your spoken time. So thank you. Thank you.